Okay, we are finishing up Chapter 2, finally, with video 16 in Brotherhood of Darkness, Dr. Stanley Monteith. The Theosophical Society. Others believe that Theosophy is the hidden force that rules the world. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky organized the Theosophical Society in 1875. Although she had little formal education, she wrote 2 books that changed the world. Both The Secret Doctrine and Isis Unveiled were channeled to her by Kut Humi, a spiritual master she met in India. Many prominent people became Theosophists after reading her books. Arthur Conan Doyle, who created Sherlock Holmes, was a Theosophist, as was William Stead, the man who helped Cecil Rhodes organize his secret society. Thomas Edison was one of Madame Blavatsky's most famous disciples. By following her teachings, he learned to meditate, and during his periods of contemplation, he accessed the occult power she promoted. That was the source of his genius and the force behind his amazing career. Because of his dedication to Madame Blavatsky's teaching, he changed the world in which we live. The Theosophical Society exists today. It has libraries in both Wheaton, Illinois, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, if it's pronounced like in Spanish, Ojai, or it could be Ouija, but it's Ojai, California. Every year, thousands of people join together to pray for the knowledge and understanding that comes from ageless wisdom. Corinne McLaughlin and Gordon Davidson co-authored the book Spiritual Politics, in which they discussed Madame Blavatsky's influence on Western culture. And it still blows me away that most of these books I have, and I didn't learn about them through this book. I had them, I was collecting them ahead of time. Anyway, over the last 100 years, the ageless wisdom has spread widely in the West, beginning with the work of the Russian Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Her seminal book, The Secret Doctrine, published in 1888, synthesized Christian, Jewish, and Islamic mysticism with the Eastern teachings of Hinduism, Taoism, and Buddhism, showing their common roots and comparing their sacred texts. During her extensive travels in the East, Blavatsky worked directly with several Indian and Tibetan masters who helped her record and explain the ageless wisdom for the West. The origin of the New Age movement, environmentalism, Christian apostasy, and modern-day occultism can be traced back to Madame Blavatsky and Theosophy. Have you ever wondered how Adolf Hitler seized power in Germany, or why he and his henchmen slaughtered millions of helpless human beings? Almost everyone has heard of the 6 million Jews who perished during the Holocaust, but very few people have heard of the 12 million others who were killed in Hitler's death camps. How can we explain such barbarity? And the fact that knowledge of the deaths of the 12 million others has been suppressed. Adolf Hitler read Madame Blavatsky's book, The Secret Doctrine, nightly. That was a source of his power and his ability to control others. After the war, Winston Churchill suppressed efforts to expose Adolf Hitler's occultism. Why? Isn't that strange? I had a hard time ordering that one book. Hitler, the Occult Messiah, had to order it 3 times because twice it was canceled from different booksellers. Why? I can't tell you. Corinne McLaughlin and Gordon Davidson wrote, Winston Churchill reportedly insisted that the black magic of the Nazi Party not be revealed to the general public after the war, and the Allied prosecution and judges at Nuremberg consciously ignored the occult aspects of the Nazis' tremendous power and cruelty. Margaret Sanger was a Theosophist, and her eugenic policies and birth control programs were products of her occult beliefs. Henry Wallace was a Theosophist, He convinced President Roosevelt that the occult emblem on the back of the Great Seal of the United States should be printed on the back of the dollar bill. He later ran for president with the support of the Communist Party. Is it possible that theosophy is the hidden force behind world events? UFO believers. Thousands of people claim they have seen unidentified flying objects, and millions of people believe the government is covering up the truth about them. My wife insists that she and her father watched a UFO hover over a lake in front of them many years ago, and Chuck Missler wrote an excellent book on alien abductions. There are dozens of support groups for people who claim they have been kidnapped by aliens. Reports of crop circles and cattle mutilations from across the world suggest that there are supernatural forces we don't understand. Some people are convinced that the UFOs are responsible for everything that is going on in the world, and some responsible researchers believe there is an element of truth to that belief. Do UFOs really exist? Are they somehow related to the unfolding of world events? A number of strange concepts have been covered in this chapter. How does all of this information presented fit together? You are about to learn the Arcanorum, the secret of the esoteric societies that has been hidden from public view since time began. Wow, that was a long chapter, and I have been recording that without stop. So that was a long chapter. If it was tough for you to listen to, imagine my reading it and recording it, and sometimes having to re-record certain sections. So that was chapter 2. If your interest hasn't been piqued by this, I'm wondering if you're still alive, because this is some interesting stuff, whether it be true or not. But strangely, I've been collecting all these books, and some of these books have been written at various times, and it's like a little witch hunt, or like a little clue hunt or something. But it's fun, it's interesting, and whether or not this is true, this is more exciting than a mystery novel. Anyway, hang with me, and we will pick up with chapter 3 on the next day. And I think you will enjoy this. It's called The Murder on the Orient Express. It's going to be fun. See you there. Have a good night.